You may have seen him on Superstore and Pen 15. Make some noise for Chris Grace, everybody. Come on, go there. Chris Grace.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris. Like Sean said, I've been on television a little bit. So I consider myself mildly famous. That means I'm famous enough that sometimes I get recognized at the grocery store, but not famous enough to not have to mention it. I'm famous enough that total strangers will intrude on my everyday life, but not famous enough to want that to stop. Not emotionally secure enough. Slip of the tongue. I'm gay, sorry ladies. I'm also married, sorry boys. I'm married to a white man, and some Chinese people have a problem with that because they feel like, you know, you're rejecting your culture, but I'm also gaining white privilege by proxy. Like, do I hate myself or do I like to return things to Target without a receipt? I didn't write that actually happened. My husband is a big guy, he's a bear. Y'all know what that is in the gay community, a bear? Like in our vernacular, a bear that means it's gay for someone who might have type 2 diabetes. Guys, I can say that joke because I am hilarious. Now, a bear is a big guy. Like I grew up in Texas, so a lot of the guys that I was attracted to were big white guys that wear flannel and camo. So my type is guys that look like they might hate crime me. I don't know, I just see that red hat and I'm like, hey Bubba, do me like you do your own research. It's weird when you are young and gay and you realize you like guys but not the same guys that other gay men like, you know? Like, oh, you like John Hamm? I like John Goodman. Oh, you like Harry Potter? I like Hagrid. Oh, you like the guy that plays Thor? I like the guy that plays Fat Thor. Trying to own it now. I want to get a t-shirt that says, this gay fairy likes Guy Fieri. That's at the merch table at the back. In the bear community, there's kind of peculiar labels, like there's bears. If you're younger, you're a cub. If you're slimmer, you're an otter. I'm not making these up. Ask this table right here. It's like the Boy Scouts, but instead of getting a badge, you get fucked. And the Boy Scouts get both. Oh, that joke is too factual. I am Chinese. If you're going to ask me after the show, what are you anyway? That's what I am. I'm Chinese, the Coke Classic of Asians. So a little disclaimer, I'm about to make fun of Chinese parents. I just want you to know, I know it's a sensitive subject. Chinese parents, it's complex, there's a lot of factors. Because on the one hand, Chinese parents are immigrants. They are learning a second language. They're just doing what's best for their children. And then on the other hand, Chinese parents suck! You know, on the one hand, there's the challenges, the private struggles of being part of a diaspora, and on the other hand, they're bad at being parents. I'm not talking about all Chinese parents, I'm just talking about the ones that are Chinese that have children. I'm not talking about all Chinese parents, I'm just talking about 100% of them. I sounded Asian when I said 100% of them. Like my dad was really mean to me as a kid. When I was 8, we had this like take-home assignment that was like interview someone in your family that was an immigrant. And my dad was an immigrant. He came to the U.S. He met my mother. They started a family. They had children, and asked them these questions. And they were like, "When did you come to the U.S.? Why did you come to the U.S.?" And then I asked him these, and I asked him the last question, which is, if you had to do it all over again, would you still come to the U.S.? And I asked my dad that, and he said, no. Just a reminder, my dad met my mom in the U.S. And, sometimes, you don't know if sometimes it's bad parenting or if it's miscommunication or whatever, because, I was like, English is not his first language. I'm sure he doesn't understand the implications of this answer, so let me just explain, Dad, if you didn't come to the U.S., you wouldn't have met Mom, you wouldn't have had children, you wouldn't have me, I wouldn't have existed, so bearing all that in mind, if you had to come to the U.S. again, would you come to the U.S.? And he said, I told you no already. So at 8 years old, I was such a disappointing child, it turned my father off of the concept of America. It's a little upsetting when you're 8 years old and your father tries to verbally and hypothetically abort you. Even when I was an adult, he's like not super supportive. Chinese parents, even when you succeed, they don't really believe in you. Like when I started to be an actor, I booked the very first commercial that I ever auditioned for Nike. Thank you. Thank you. And my agents were so excited. I was so excited. I told my dad, and he was like, oh, that was because of luck, right? And that really hurt, because he was right, and I didn't book anything else for 2 years. It's just upsetting when your elderly Chinese father knows more about show business than your agents. But we're fine now, because I matured and he died. So, that helps a little bit. Helps a lot. Arguments are way shorter. I mean, I had problems with my mom as well, but we're okay now because I matured and she also matured. Not sure what y'all were thinking. She's fine. Boy, y'all are sick. So, yeah, I'm in therapy, if that's not clear. I have a white therapist. I'm learning a lot from this process. I learned that there's a big difference between white childhood and Asian childhood. Because, I don't know if this is too technical, but white children are raised with this thing called affection. I'm sorry to use medical jargon, but I'm not really familiar with this concept. Yeah, so my therapist asked me, like, were you ever hugged as a child? And I was like, that is a personal attack. And I thought about it, and this is true, I literally never was hugged as a child growing up. Not once. I know, sad, that's why I'm here. And I told my friend who's white, and he couldn't believe this. He was like, dude, I used to get hugged all the time. I get hugged when I was dropped off at school, when I was picked up at school, when I was tired at night. I'd go to bed, they'd give me a hug, tell me they love me. And this is amazing to me, okay, because I didn't get a hug when I went to college on the other side of the country. White people get a hug when they go to the other side of the house. So I have a hug deficit now, trying to make up. I told my therapist, I'm going to make a concerted effort to hug the people in my life whenever I see them. And that was in March 2020. So that worked out great, you guys. What's the big deal? It's a Chinese man hugging as many people as possible in spring 2020. What is it? Yes, I just got off the plane from Wuhan. Give me a hug. Of course, I brought bat sandwiches from the wet market. Get in here. Why is everyone running around? Everyone's so excited. I should have been hugging people years ago. All right, y'all have been great. My name's Chris.